guys. I'm feeling running pants underneath my scrubs. Maybe I'll go running later. Always gotta do the tuck-in. It's just the way I do it. Guys, this time we are headed to the lounge, and this is where I'm gonna do my little spiel about what's going on here in New York City. Hey everyone, my name is Darren. I make travel videos with my wife, Zoe, and we also run an Instagram account called Zoe and Darren. Today's gonna be a really special video because we're gonna talk about what exactly we do for our careers here in New York State. As you know, we're all about travel videos, sort of giving you guys tips as to what there is to do around the countries that we're at. So as you might have figured out by now, we are not full-time travelers yet. We actually work full-time in the medical field. I'm a PA in family medicine, and my wife, Zoe, works as a nurse in the cardiac care unit. So as a full-time worker in upstate New York, 4 hours north from where I'm at now, where do I have the time to fit in working in a COVID hospital to take care of COVID patients here in New York City? In this video, I'll be telling you exactly what I do as a COVID frontliner in New York City. So I can't imagine I'm saying this, but I literally work 7 days a week. Like, am I insane? I can imagine my childhood me being like, Darren, what the heck are you doing? So what I do is as soon as I get home from my last shift of work on Friday at like 5 p.m., I rush home really quick. I pack all my stuff into my mono suitcase, actually more than that later. And I just shove everything into my suitcase and shove it all in my back, and shove it all in my car, and then just start my commute 4 hours away. As a little side note, never in my whole life could I imagine that I'd be drinking as much coffee. It has been absolutely insane, the amount of coffee that I drink. So that being said, with my car fully stocked with caffeinated beverages, my backpack, and my mono suitcase, so begins my journey every single weekend. The drive is pretty much serene and like meditative almost. You've got the whole roads to yourself. You're just kind of there on your own, cruising down 80 miles an hour and just catching up with people, catching up on medical lectures, medical journals. So I usually stay at the Hilton Garden in Midtown. But this time they decided to switch me up over at Freehand, New York. Last night I got here for my commute. I went straight to Freehand Hotel. It is empty. Like there's nobody here. There's just one person. If you folks are watching this after the pandemic, you will need to be here because this place is gorgeous. So my situation as a PA is really interesting because yeah, I'm a PA, I practice medicine. I have a license to practice in the state of New York. But during this COVID emergency crisis, I'm being employed partially as a nurse. I'm doing nursing tasks. I'm going into patients. I'm checking in with what it is they need. I'm giving them water if they need. I'm delivering food. I am drawing some blood in rare cases, and I'm also checking in vitals. I'm making a basic assessment as to what's going on. I'm checking trends for temperatures, vitals, blood pressure, you name it. I'm also doing internal medicine stuff that I don't normally do in my day job. I'm used to normally seeing patients in an office. Well, I'll tell them, hey, how you doing? I'm Darren, I'm the PA seeing you. Are you sick with a cold today? Are you feeling all right? I'm taking care of these patients in my office, in Syracuse. I usually take care of patients in an outpatient capacity, like in family medicine. So when they see on the commercials, see your doctor, that's your primary care provider. That's the stuff that I do. When you go in and make an appointment, talk about a physical, if you want to get a blood panel, do an STD test, I do all that. And as you can imagine, you go into an office to do those kind of things. You keep your appointment, you talk to the doctor, you tell them exactly what your problems are, and then they take care of it, usually with a prescription, a lab test, a diagnostic, an imaging, send you over to X-ray, or do a procedure right there in the office. But never in my life would I have imagined that I'd be taking care of dying people from a pandemic, an invisible enemy here in New York City. I mean, living in upstate, it's different. I mean, you feel as if you're so distant from New York City. It's like an entire state of its own. In fact, I don't know why they don't do that. I don't know why they don't make central New York an entire new state. But here in New York City, it's a totally different beast. You've got people who are of all nations, tongues, countries, tribes, and you're finding yourself speaking to these people and they don't know a lick of English. And it's up to you to use your best judgment, Google Translate, and just basic human compassion to take care of them. In combination with my general experience and knowledge, most of it still comes from like my school experience back in like 2014. Oh my gosh, that was literally 6 years ago. I have to take care of these patients that do not respond well to COVID, patients who do not tolerate it very well. So when I have patients assigned to me, they're giving me about 3 to 4 patients a day just because, I'm new and they're allowing me to learn the ropes. The PA team, by the way, has been awesome. They've been lifesavers. They've been like angels in a time of crisis, because you hear of so many PAs and other medical providers who work in different specialties. We've got people in surgery who are forced to be rushed to get into the medical ward taking care of patients in ways they've never done before. I mean, think about it. It's something to only see patients in a surgical table kind of lying passed out like that and managing them internally with incisions, wounds, suturing, and general repair. But to manage these patients who are actively crying, they're actively wincing, they're guarded, they're visibly in pain, and they've got medical problems that have never been diagnosed before. How can you manage those kind of things? And that's pretty much how I feel. I'm in a specialty. Yeah, family medicine is pretty general. It does give you the insight on how to take care of patients in a general basis. But if a patient in 16B or whatever, and this is an example, you come down and they're visibly different than the first time you saw them. For example, their legs are turning blue, they're more in pain, they're starting to have numbness and tingling in places they haven't been. You need to address those things now. And if it's paired with people with crashing vitals and vital signs like a dropping blood pressure, and that you just put them on an anticoagulant or blood thinner just a few hours ago, you have to do something about it. This is not something where you can just do a follow-up 2 weeks later and just say, ma'am, I'm gonna see how you respond to this drug. I'm gonna see how you respond to the strategy. Let's go do a watchful wait. No, you have to treat it. It is literally your job. That kind of urgency and the critical nature of the patients that I take care of, it's kind of a big deal and it's really stressful. But all stress aside and kind of the heat of what it is that I do, I really do love my experience here in the COVID floor in New York City. It just means so much to be able to take care of patients in a direct, tangible way, in ways different than maybe a 15 to 20 minute conversation with a patient who's never had diabetes in an office. It's different than what that might feel on a day-to-day basis for me. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the dynamic of all the staff workers in general. You've got nurses, PAs, respiratory therapists, CRNAs, anesthesiologists, doctors coming from all over the country. It's literally insane. You're not the only foreigner coming in from the little part of New York. You are literally one of an army of people from all over the country. It is insane. And the first day, seeing so many people from all over the country come together to respond to a call for an emergency is like something out of a movie. All right, guys, enough blabber. Gotta go to work. It's literally 6:45 a.m. now, and I gotta dash because my shift starts in 15 minutes, and I've never walked to Bellevue from this hotel. I'll take you guys walking with me. Literally, I look so ridiculous walking around with bright green looking teal seafoam scrubs in the middle of New York City with a big, huge camera and a furry little piece of Mike dead cat thing sticking up on top. Yeah, well, pulling off that stunt made me look like a fool and made me lost 5 minutes wasted. So I'm finding out that the commute to Bellevue from my hotel freehand is really short. I mean, it says I'm almost 2 minutes there. I mean, I can't see it. I'm a little lost, not gonna lie, but it's all right. Also, can I tell you something? I freaking love the city. It is freaking gorgeous. The neighborhoods that you pass by, well, I know the sereneness is gonna go away in 2 seconds, but it is beautiful. I could live here. There it is, guys, my hospital. Whoa, it is my 7th week back, and I can already tell something's going on. There's way less people walking around, less staff. Oh, also one thing, it may not be obvious, but hopefully it makes sense, but I can't be recording in a hospital a lot, maybe in just public areas, so you might not be getting the footage that you were expecting. Today was a good day. I rounded on just one patient, took care of them. I was kind of involved in the admitting process, bringing them in from the ER, taking them into the floor, putting in orders of exactly what they needed, spoke to them, explained them why they're in the hospital, and just kind of renewed orders, replaced the meds that they were already on at home, gave them some education as to why these meds are important. I placed orders, so for tests and blood tests to find out what the problem is. I'm essentially diagnosing them at the clinic and re-diagnosing them and reanalyzing and assessing their health. Earlier in the hotel, I was kind of thinking about it and saying how different being outpatient is from an inpatient. Outpatient being my full-time job and inpatient being my weekend job. They're basically the same in its core. Yeah, you've got different tasks, you've got a different spin on it, but ultimately it's all about the patient. It's all about managing them. It's all about creating a diagnosis. It's all about creating a plan and then executing the plan, and then what to do when the plan doesn't come out the way you expect it to. The PAs that I'm with are absolutely awesome. We all just hang out in the office when we're done charting and that's the other thing about our jobs is we document relentlessly. It just comes note after note, and you have to make an account of what you did, because if you did not document it, you did not do it. So what's really cool is, when we're all done documenting, we all just kind of hang out in this office, and we all just get on our rolly chairs, just spin around and just discuss and rant about life. Today we were watching the live launch of the SpaceX, and then the other thing we were doing is just ranting about politics. And yeah, we're in a tough place right now, honestly, of the racial injustice on a systemic level. So we were just talking about that, but it's cool to at least have a kind of a relaxing time in the midst of craziness. I talked about how dumb I look carrying a huge camera with a big furry microphone thing on top, and I'm literally doing that right now with my full scrub outfit on. I'm kind of lost. My hotel's actually around the block, so I'm actually really close to home. But the last thing that I do as part of my job is, again, kind of like what I said in the beginning, and that's to be a nurse extender. Yes, I'm literally helping nurses out and doing tasks I'm not exactly licensed to do, but I have to figure out how to do it anyway, like administering meds, giving people subcutaneous injections, so skin, little needles, injections underneath their skin. I'm giving people their pills. I'm educating them exactly what the pills do. So it's really cool to be involved in the entire spectrum of medicine, and something that I've grown to appreciate. Honestly, when they told me I'd be helping out with nursing tasks, I was kind of like, and they made me swallow my pride, and I did, and I feel really rewarded, and I feel thankful that I did that. So we have arrived. Actually, what's cool is that I'm staying in the literal same hotel that I featured on my top things to do in New York City. Check this out. I almost got crushed. So you can actually find the video that I'm referring to right over here on the top left right there, so click on that. What's up, guys? I'm back here home from New York City, and man, that was such a long drive, literally 4 hours, and it's just pitch black with nobody on the road. But you know what? Me being all alone on the road, that's not so bad. I hope that gives you guys a glimpse of what I do on the weekends. I love everything that I do. People are like, how is it that you work every single day? And I tell them it doesn't feel like work. When I come home from my day job, it's like I get to relax, and it's a good work-life balance. So honestly, adding this new 12-hour weekend kind of thing on Saturdays and Sundays, not such a big deal. I would say the only thing that I keep emphasizing is the drive. I just need so much caffeine to survive that. But otherwise, I love what it is that I do. I love helping COVID patients. I love making a big difference here in my state of New York. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys at least found it entertaining and even the slightest bit uplifting at all. If you guys thought this video was pretty cool, give it a thumbs up. And for Zoe and I, we're gonna keep traveling. That's not gonna stop. So we'd appreciate it that if you guys are really into travel, looking into some cool content to inspire you to go out in this world and explore what this literal earth has to offer, please hit the subscribe button and check out our other videos you'll find right up here. All right, you guys, catch you in the next one. Peace.